Below I've laid out the basic components of the color correction process from color temperature to color contrast and explained how each variable plays a unique role in the emotional perception of your audience. Without the distraction of bright colors, viewers have no choice but to pay more attention to other visual elements: composition, contrast, and framing. Understanding color correction from a purely technical standpoint is one thing, but in order to have the greatest emotional impact on your audience, you need a deeper understanding of the psychology of color correction. For example, you can use a warm color palette to deliberately mislead an audience and create a false sense of calm that will be belied by an unexpected turn of events. More than any other variable on this list, color temperature has the most obvious and immediate effect on an audience's emotional perception. It allows the viewer to focus, as in a monochrome film, while benefiting from a little stylization through a muted color palette. The effect of color on the human mind is most obvious when an image contrasts with its monochromatic counterpart. Some color palettes attract the viewer and create a sense of comfort, while others isolate the viewer and leave him disoriented. But a warm color palette doesn't always look old, and a cold one doesn't always look new, especially if the palette is approached tastefully and not overdone. A neutral color palette lets the audience know that this is an honest story based on a certain degree of realism. Ultimately, your audience doesn't care what software you used to color your movie or how many hours you spent on power windows and tracking. Sometimes you have to step back from color correction and just use a palette to heighten the emotions that exist in the story a little bit.